Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media have gotten the attention of corporate America, but do businesses have the right strategies to take advantage of these new communication tools? Joining us for this week's Smith Business Close-Up is Wendy Moe, Associate Professor of Marketing. Dr. Moe, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
So what do you see out there? Do you see companies effectively dealing with this or ineffectively?
Well, I think a lot of companies are struggling to figure out what they want to do with social media. And we've got two kinds of companies out there. We've got one group of companies that are using it more like an advertising tool, another promotional tool available to them. And effectively, social media is just another channel for advertising promotional messages, but the only difference being that your audience is a little bit different, the rate at which information spreads from person to person is a little different, and the level of engagement you have with your customer is a little different. So you've got one group of companies and one set of strategies that does that. But increasingly, we've got another group of companies and another set of strategies that's using social media as a listening tool. It's a way for companies to eavesdrop on customer conversations online to see how people feel about your product and see what you can do to improve your product and to improve your customer service and so on.
So do companies perceive risks in this? Because anything that happens on the internet is forever and can be widely disseminated. So, are they right to be a little bit cautious?
Well, it depends on which branch you're talking about. So for those who are engaging in social media, it's like any other public forum. You have to be careful what you say. Even TV, it is permanent. So I think all companies in general need to be careful about what they say, regardless of whether it's on social media or any other channel. From the listening standpoint, the risk is you may hear some things you don't like. You may react to that information. You may feel a need to intervene and try and manipulate or falsify some information online to try and get your customers to say more positive things about your product. And there are definitely risks associated with that.
And from a marketing standpoint, the people who are Twittering, tweeting, putting things on Facebook are not necessarily representative of your total customer base.
Absolutely, and even those people who are participating in Facebook, there are a lot of individuals who are just there to listen to other people rather than participate themselves. And there's what we like to call the silent majority. So there are a lot of people, I think the terminology a lot of people are using are the people who are posting are referred to as the lurkers, and I like to focus on the silent majority. So I think there have been some empirical studies and industry studies that show about 99% of everyone participating in social media actually refrain from contributing anything on their own. Instead, all the activity and all the vocal opinions being expressed are being presented by a small group of a small group of posters who you typically have very extreme opinions and oftentimes have very critical and overly critical opinions about the products.
I don't know if I want to be identified with the lurkers or the posters. I used to work at a talk radio station, and the rule of thumb was that 95% of your listeners never called, so you had to resist the urge to program for the 5% who did call, and I guess it's the same concept.
Absolutely. So the idea is to not be overly reactive to what's said online. But on top of that, what makes it worse in the social media environment is that in the offline environment, the same thing with customer complaints about products. You only get a very small proportion of customer complaints coming in through phone calls, letters, etc. The difference between social media and these customer complaints is that these customer complaints, when they come in, the people submitting these complaints aren't talking to one another. They don't see what other people are saying. In social media, all the people who are posting, they're communicating with each other too. And oftentimes these posting environments, these forums, start creating a life of its own. And the negativity feeds off of each other such that not only are we only getting a very negative sample of the population, but that subgroup of the population gets increasingly negative over time because of the dynamics that get generated online.
This is fascinating stuff. And you have a conference coming up to help people learn to deal with it. When is that?
That's October 1st at College Park, Maryland, and we have great speakers from MTV, Conversian, USA Today coming in to talk about what they've done in terms of researching the phenomenons on social media, as well as what they've done in terms of strategy that has been effective with getting the word out.
All right, Professor Wendy Moe joining us from the Smith School of Business. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.